I haven't seen him.
You know whose car this is, ma'am? Okay, she's gonna have to move this backwards in a few minutes.
No, you work for a second. What was going on? So I turned around, got your hammer back. You kind of worked with the issues on the
Yeah, you want to try to walk over there?
Like over there and shit? Like can we go up the side street? Can we look this way?
It's still very active, and as you mentioned, Natasha, very dangerous. Police officers who are blocking this side street that we're on keep pushing the media and those living here on the block back, because as we've been reporting all afternoon, this is still a very active scene. The actual incidents of these shootings, if you look at that stop sign right there, happened around the corner, just about a few hundred yards from where I'm standing, but you can see officers here on this block every few minutes, because this is still an ongoing situation, keep pushing us back. And now you just heard from Joe Holden in his reporting that 4 of the officers that were shot have non-life-threatening injuries. One was wounded apparently as he or she was responding to this scene. It appears in just the last few seconds, though, you can see some of the undercover officers, some of the clothed officers moving some of the vehicles and moving away from the scene. It looks like they're not rushing, which is a good indication this might at least be devolving in some sense right now, but we're watching this live as you are as well. Within the past, let me give you a little bit of a sort of a timeline as what happened. 4:35 this afternoon, that is where radio traffic, standard traffic, reported that at least one officer was shot, and that is when, quite frankly, all hell broke loose. Officers from around the city centering their attention on responding as quickly as possible to this scene, the 3700 block of North 15th Street. Once an officer is down, it's basically all hands on deck. Us in the media, to give you the information, we tried getting here as quickly as possible, but as you can imagine, with such a serious situation, it takes time. Roads are closed, crime scene tape goes up, and this is a situation right now. We're hearing possible, I could not tell if that was gunshots or something falling, but there are officers taking cover behind this vehicle right now. No, we're okay from our vantage point right here, but officers are now crouching down behind one of the patrol cars. There appear to be about 3 to 4 rapid fire shots. I cannot see. There are officers taking cover now. If you look in the distance here, they're running. Okay, guys, we're going to just stay back here, but we're going to show you what's going on. There are multiple officers running. A possible. I'm just relaying what I'm seeing here. We're taking cover beside a car and a home here on this block. Officers drawing their weapons and keeping us back. There appears to be possibly 3 to 4 shots being fired as about 30 seconds ago. Officers now back in the defensive position, guys. There are some that are taking cover. I see behind one of the row homes here, and others taking cover behind their patrol vehicles. And we're just gonna let this play out right now. This happening in just the past minute. You can see in the distance there, Matt, I don't know if you can show it, one of the responding vehicles with its lights and sirens heading northbound here. And like I mentioned, we heard what appeared to be possibly 3 or 4 shots just going off. That is what I interpreted. The officers here on scene took defensive positions. It seems to at least be slightly getting calmer, though you do see officers running down this block here. We are about a block or so from the 3700 block of North 15th Street. There are more shots are being fired right now. Those multiple shots are being fired. I don't know if you can hear that. It does not appear that it's happening directly on this street. But there is something happening right now. I don't know if this is officers who are engaging with the suspect or the suspect possibly engaging with officers right now, but we've heard now 2 volleys of gunshots, one happening about 2 minutes ago. It appeared to be 3 or 4, and just another about 10 seconds ago. Officers taking defensive positions. There were about at least 40, pull back if you can, there were about 40 officers gathered in this intersection right in front of me, which is very close to where this shooting happened. They've all retreated either to homes, row homes here on this block, or behind their police vehicles. We've seen multiple officers running and taking cover. Fortunately, we're staying mid-block back here as this all is unfolding. But so far, guys, in the past 5 minutes or so, we've had 2 volleys of gunfire. And this is the situation right now, actually a pretty scary one. To give you just an idea of exactly where we are, we're on the 3600 block of North Sydenham Street at the intersection that you're looking at where the stop signs are. That is West Erie Avenue. This all happened on the 3700 block of North 15th Street, which is, I believe, 1 block to my east. So 1 block east, and that appears to be approximately where the sounds of the gunshots, the 2 volleys, have just occurred. I'm gonna pause here 1 second just to see if I can hear anything. I just heard. No, but right now, Natasha, there. Go ahead. We are. We're midway down the block. Yes, Yuki, thank you. We are taking precautionary measures, of course. We're halfway down the block behind the police crime tape, and we are near a row home here, which can provide some cover. But the officers that were in this intersection in just the past 5 minutes have all retreated, and there were 2 volleys of gunfire. It appears that things are settling down a little bit. I did not see where exactly that gunfire was coming from. It was clear, I heard it, and it seemed very close. Obviously, like I've been reporting, the actual shooting scene, guys, is 1 block to my east, to the east, to my right, or my right, your left. And that is where the initial calls came through. Yuki, Natasha, like I said, there was a large police presence, and you can still see a large police presence. They were all gathered, the officers gathering in that intersection up until about 5 minutes ago when 2 volleys of gunfire broke out and everyone took defensive positions. So this is going to go on for some time. As we've been reporting, 4 officers have been shot with non-life-threatening injuries. That, according to Joe Holden. One officer, we're told, was wounded as he or she was responding to this scene. Still a very chaotic and tense situation right now with active gunfire. I do not know, I did not witness the gunfire myself, whether it came from police or the suspect that apparently may be still unapprehended, not in police custody just yet. But right now, you can see that officer on the right, Matt, if you could, I'm working with Matt Marano, our photographer, photojournalist. You can see him taking a defensive position around the corner as well. And we're just staying back because as important as it is to get everyone the information, of course, we don't want to get injured in any of this. But police officers at this scene, at least, which is right around the corner from the main situation, are taking defensive positions as we speak, with these 2 volleys of gunfire erupting in just the past 5 minutes or so. Incredibly tense situation, especially since from our vantage point right here, go ahead. Natasha. It does appear, just like you mentioned there, Natasha, that there is still an active situation, an active volley between police and suspect or suspects here at the 3700 block of North 15th Street. The good thing right now, if you can take a live look right there, you can see officers just walking down West Erie Street. They don't appear to be retreating, which is a great sign, because when those volleys of gunfire erupted, everyone took position. They went to a safe position to, of course, keep themselves safe and possibly engage in that suspect. That right there, the gentleman you see wearing the white shirt, he's a commanding officer of some sort, perhaps a captain. And those are the officers that are in control of this situation. Massive police presence. I want to reiterate just how large of a police presence this is. Just on this intersection alone, at one point, I'm looking at least 2 or 3 dozen clothed and plainclothed officers gathering here. And this is just one intersection of a very large crime scene. Once again, this all starting around 4:35 this afternoon with a report of 1 officer shot. And since then, active gunfire. 4 officers confirmed by CBS 3 have been injured, fortunately with non-life-threatening injuries. A 5th officer injured perhaps as he or she was responding to the call, and that response was incredible. Shock and all perhaps. So many officers arriving to the scene from all directions of the city. We saw at least 2 dozen officers in their marked and unmarked police cars arriving here at the scene, but right now it seems to have at least calmed down here close to the 3700 block of North 15th Street. Guys, of course, we'll stay here on scene, we'll stay safe, and we'll provide you any updates if they happen here, but hopefully this wraps up soon and that suspect or suspects are placed under arrest. I'll just spin around here. You can see folks are all gathered here where we're placed. People are on their cell phones. There are some people who are inside their homes, but for the most part, everyone is staying behind this police tape. This is as close as you can get to where the action is happening right now. But at least a few dozen people from this neighborhood have gathered. In today's day and age, everyone has one of these, and everyone recording what's going on. When the few volleys of gunfire happened, of course, everyone sort of took cover and moved to at least to the sides of the homes here to give themselves a little bit of protection in case anything happened. Police are very proactive in making sure that everyone stays safe, of course, and they've moved us back since we've arrived at least twice. We were very close to that intersection when we first arrived here about an hour ago or so, I should say about 45 minutes ago or so, and ever since we've been moved back, which is a good thing, quite frankly, because this is still an active scene. And Yuki, if you can see, I just want to show you from this angle, Matt, I don't know if you can point out, that is one of the row homes. You can see officers actually taking position on that person's front porch. In front of that home, I mean, you can count them, at least I see a dozen officers. So there are people, I mean, this is we're in North Philadelphia right now, Tioga section of Philly, very populated, very dense section of our city, and you see, I mean, basically right now, a massive crime scene, multiple blocks, and hundreds of officers, I would assume, throughout this area are here to try to resolve and end this situation. You know, when active gunfire is happening between police and suspects in a heavily populated city, I mean, you know what could happen. Innocent bystanders could get hit, officers could get hurt, of course, and that is what officers are trying to prevent. They're trying to end this safely and peacefully. Of course, with 4 officers shot, that piece has already left the area, but fortunately, or hopefully, no one else will get injured in all of this, though there is, at least in the past 20 minutes or so, active gunfire happening right around the corner here. So police taking defensive positions, using people's front porches to basically monitor the situation. If you look up there, you can actually see an officer crouching behind that front porch with about 2 dozen or 1 dozen, at least 1 dozen officers in front of that home. Those officers all took defensive cover positions when those volleys rang out a few minutes ago, but it seems at least right now that there haven't been any shots fired. That could change on a moment's notice. We were just reporting about the situation when we heard those 2 volleys. So we're going to give it back to you guys there in the studio, but right now, very tense situation. The community gathering here and police making sure as best as they can everyone stays safe who are in these homes and in this community as this incredibly dramatic scene is unfolding right now here in the Tioga section of Philadelphia. Natasha, Yuki. All right, if you want to take me, I can.
Hey everybody, Brett Buffington here in the Social Media Center in the newsroom with you this afternoon. We're continuing to follow this story out of Philadelphia where we know 4 police officers have been shot this afternoon. We're going to take a box here so you can see the live video on one side. Just the reporter there has been doing live shots, obviously, for the station, his station, the CBS affiliate in Philadelphia. We are dipping into their live camera feed to show you this. There were intense moments if you've been watching this live feed over the last 5 minutes or so. You heard what sounded like gunshots, in all essence were likely gunshots there in the background. He was told to get back, and you can see the police officers there. And of course, we'll work to flip that video back around and get it on social media and our digital platforms for you so that you can see the intense moments of the officers ducking back behind this. We just learned from the police commissioner, the deputy police commissioner in Philadelphia, that this active shooting situation is still ongoing. Obviously, an indication that those were likely gunshots we heard earlier. Again, and this happened about an hour ago. It started about an hour ago there in Philadelphia in the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood, 15th Street, North 15th Street, if you are familiar with that area. And now you're looking at a shot there. Just come back to me live there, Emily. We'll work on getting another shot there out of Philadelphia. But you can see they put their camera down to obviously take a break in their coverage. They're very busy for them. Again, 4 officers shot there in Philadelphia, and a lot of you here in Houston and on our Facebook Live feed have been expressing your condolences there for the officers. We've been told so far from the police commissioner's office that all of the injuries are non-life threatening, so there is some good news. We know these officers were headed to a narcotics call of some type when this all started this afternoon. Again, it's still an active shooter situation, and now almost an hour into this. Again, not really anything to show you coming out of Philadelphia right now, but we want to certainly keep you updated as this situation is still very much unfolding. It looks like they're maybe going to get another shot up there. Hopefully they will. And again, we learned a fifth officer might also have been injured in this, possibly in a car crash there near or going to the scene. The 4 officers who have been shot, we know that 2 of them were hit in the arm. And again, the police commissioner's office. Okay, here we go. We're going to go back to a live shot there. Squeeze back in the box here. You can see the picture of the scene here from above. Earlier, excuse me, earlier they told the media helicopters via Twitter, the police department asked them to back up. They were impending the situation there. So obviously the shot, and thankfully those very powerful cameras on the front of the helicopters are able to zoom in like this where you don't have to be over and hear the loud rotor wash. So you can see the situation there. Again, this is the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood, 15th Street, where this is happening. There's an incredible amount of police officers there this afternoon. Again, 5 officers injured. We've heard 4 of them have been shot, non-life-threatening injuries with them, and then a 5th officer possibly injured in a car crash there. And again, this is an active situation. Again, if you were watching this feed over the last 5 minutes or so, you heard as that reporter there from CBS from Philadelphia was doing his live shot. It sounded like gunshots, and all indications certainly were gunshots there. And he certainly went back to cover to make sure he was safe. So a crazy situation going on there in Philadelphia. We're working on getting updates to the top of our 5 o'clock newscast. I'm going to jump off of Facebook Live. I'll be right back with you as soon as I get the latest information. We're going to leave you with this picture live from Philadelphia above this scene. Again, an active situation, an active shooter situation still ongoing there. 4 Philadelphia police officers have been shot. Certainly our thoughts and prayers are with the people in Philadelphia this afternoon. Thankfully, those injuries appear to be non-life threatening. Again, we're going to leave this up so you can continue to watch. We'll be right back here to update you with new information right after we do KHOU 11 News at 5 on the broadcast side. If you're watching at home, flip over. You'll see the latest information there. And again, we'll leave you this live picture above this scene in Philadelphia where we're thinking about the police department there as they continue to try and stop an active shooter. All right, everybody. I understand there was a little issue with my mic there. It helps, I guess, if you turn it on. Again, we're looking at live pictures from our CBS affiliate in Philadelphia here, side by side with me. Obviously, looking for something else there at the scene. They've been over this active shooter situation for at least an hour now, since we've been watching this feed come in here to the KHOU 11 newsroom from our affiliate there in Philadelphia. We know that 6 police officers have been shot, according to the Fraternal Order of Police there, and another police officer was hurt in a car crash either at or going to this scene. Again, an active shooting situation going on there, and certainly our thoughts and prayers here in Houston and around the country, obviously, with our police officers who are dealing with this this afternoon. We know this started as a narcotics investigation. Police have told us that, and somehow this escalated into now 6 police officers shot there. I'm going to go back over and take this back full so you can see it. I'm going to scroll your questions here along the bottom of the screen, and certainly as Judy's saying prayers for Houston, from Houston this afternoon. You can see the flashing lights of the police cars there. As I've been saying, this is in the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood in Philadelphia, if you're familiar with the area. Again, we know that 6 police officers shot earlier in this situation, in this call, I guess you would call it. We know that 2 of the officers had non-life-threatening injuries, had been shot in the arm. Our latest update from the police, the deputy police commissioner there said that all of the officers' injuries were non-life-threatening, so that is some good news. But again, as we've been watching this, originally it was 2 police officers, then 3, then 4, and then 6 officers shot in this tragic situation going on here in Philadelphia this afternoon. Again, trying to answer some of your questions as they keep coming in here. I'm just going to add them to the list here. If anyone has any questions that I hope I can answer. We don't know anything confirmed besides that the 6 officers have been shot and the 2 of them have been shot in the arm. I see a lot of people asking or speculating where they might have been shot or things like that. Again, we don't want to put anything out there that isn't confirmed by the police department. Again, we haven't had any reports of fatalities there, which is also good. And it does appear that it is some type of standoff now between what we know what started as a narcotics investigation and then turned into this active shooter situation. Again, a lot of you expressing your concern and your thoughts and prayers for the people of the Philadelphia Police Department and the people in Philadelphia just affected in this neighborhood this afternoon. Again, you can see people standing outside. It looks like a house there on the side of the street. We know this is North 15th Street where this happened. We don't know if that's specifically where we're looking at here this afternoon with this shot. But again, the news helicopters, I should say, were backed up by the police department. And a lot of times I know that happens from being out in the field because you get a lot of rotor wash, a lot of noise, especially here in Houston where we have 2 news helicopters flying usually over most big scenes. It makes a lot of noise and makes it hard for the police to communicate. So the police asked the news helicopters there in Philadelphia to back up. But thankfully, again, a very powerful camera on the bottom of that helicopter is probably a half mile to a mile away from the scene. And this is the zoomed in shot that they are getting. Again, don't know exactly where this active shooter is, how many people might be shooting, but we do know from the Philadelphia Police Department that they were dealing with a narcotics investigation. We're getting reports from the CBS affiliate there, from their reporters, that the officers who have been transported to the Temple University Hospital in Philadelphia are in stable condition. And again, this is up until, I can tell you for sure, 6-7 minutes ago, this was still an active shooting situation there. 12 minutes ago, Philadelphia police say that the suspect is still firing at officers, where 6 officers have been injured, and 6 officers have been shot, 7 injured. Again, 6 shot, 1 injured in a car crash. Everybody, just want to come back with you. The Fraternal Order of the Police Union here in Houston just tweeted this. This is Joe Grimaldi, the president of the police union, tweeting this tweet here. Obviously quoting the CBS Philadelphia affiliate. Joe Grimaldi tweeting, please keep our brothers and sisters, the officers of Philadelphia, in your thoughts and prayers. And these attacks against law enforcement must stop. Everyone should condemn violence against law enforcement. Hashtag enough is enough. So I wanted to bring that in, show you as we continue to learn more information about what's going on here in Philadelphia, bringing this live picture back up of where we've learned 6 police officers have been shot there and a 7th injured in a car crash with this unfolding situation. Again, going on and off with the microphone here as I try to work and learn the latest information about what's going on there. That from the our CBS affiliate, CBS Philly, and the Philadelphia Police Department. They have been tweeting what they can as this situation unfolds there. So I'm monitoring your comments as well. I'm here with you. Again, it's Brett Buffington, the breaking news reporter here at KHOU. I've been on TV with this. On the broadcast side, I have another live update there at 6 o'clock, as well as the CBS Evening News will likely have updated information in this as well. We're updating this story on KHOU.com. If you're joining us from that platform, the latest information is right below you on this live video. You can just scroll down, and of course, if you're here on any of our other digital platforms, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, we're certainly updating there on KHOU.com. So click over to most people watching with multiple screens. And I'm watching your comments come in as well. If you have any questions that I can try and answer, I certainly will. Again, we don't know the condition of all of the officers. The latest update from the police department there was that no one had life-threatening injuries, which was certainly good news. And we know that 2 of the officers have been shot in the arm, but the latest update from the police, at least, came when there were less officers injured. Again, this started as just 2 police officers injured, and then it went up to 3, then 4, 5, now 6. 6 officers shot, 7 officers in total injured because we know 1 was hurt in a car crash. Again, 15th Street is what we're looking at, the 15th Street area of Philadelphia. This is the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood, if you're familiar with the city of Philadelphia. And again, it sounds like I'm repeating myself a lot, but we know that people join this conversation here on social media in and out. So just want to make sure as you're joining, you don't have to ask what's happening. I'm trying to give you the latest information now. Again, we have this story on KHOU.com as well. I'm going to put the picture back up so you can see it full. Again, you can see people out there on the side of the street in this neighborhood. And I can tell you, as we were watching the CBS affiliate there earlier in this Facebook live stream or this digital stream, we watched as the reporter actually had to back up during his live shot because you could hear the active pops from what sounded like gunfire. And police say just 15 minutes ago, I would say, that they are still actively engaged with at least 1 active shooter here as this unfolds in Philadelphia. We know they were going originally to some type of narcotics call, and then once they got here, this situation unfolded. At least 1 police officer shot, then 2, now up to 6 police officers we've confirmed there through the Fraternal Order of Police in Philadelphia have been shot. We're working with our affiliate in Philadelphia to get the latest information here in Houston, and of course pass it along to you as you're watching here on our digital platforms and our live streams. And we're working to always keep the latest information on KHOU.com. And your questions are certainly, as you can see them scrolling here across the bottom of the screen, I'll work to add more of those here and answer the ones that I can. So, guys, I was just stepping away for just a second to, and I'll read you this tweet as well really quick. The police chief here in Houston, Art Acevedo, just tweeting out the thoughts and prayers of the Houston Police Department with members of the MJR chiefs, obviously the Chief of Police Association, are going out to the friends and colleagues of the Philadelphia Police Department and asking that people here that follow him on Twitter, obviously the people in Houston and in Texas and across the country, do the same. Certainly, we're thinking of the Philadelphia Police Department. It's just a sad situation. Now, 6 officers shot. I want to show you this. I was talking about it just a little earlier. I'm going to pull up CBS Philadelphia's Facebook page here. Just bear with me for a second, because what I'm going to do is cue up this video I was talking about. And you can see this reporter. We were watching his live feed here a few minutes ago. And this is the situation that
appearing to be a very dangerous situation, even for you describing it just a short time ago. What are you seeing now?
It's still very active, and as you mentioned, Natasha, very dangerous. Police officers who are blocking this side street that we're on keep pushing the media and those living here on the block back, because as we've been reporting all afternoon, this is still a very active scene. The actual incidents of these shootings, if you look at that stop sign right there, happened around the corner, just about a few hundred yards from where I'm standing, but you can see officers here on this block every few minutes, because this is still an ongoing situation, keep pushing us back. And now you just heard from Joe Holden in his reporting that 4 of the officers that were shot have non-life-threatening injuries. 1 was wounded apparently as he or she was responding to this scene. It appears in just the last few seconds, though, you can see some of the undercover officers, some of the clothed officers moving some of the vehicles and moving away from the scene. It looks like they're not rushing, which is a good indication. This might at least be devolving in some sense right now, but we're watching this live as you are as well. Within the past, let me give you a little bit of a sort of a timeline as what happened. 4:35 this afternoon, that is where radio traffic, standard traffic, reported that at least 1 officer was shot. And that is when, quite frankly, all hell broke loose. Officers from around the city centering their attention on responding as quickly as possible to this scene, the 3700 block of North 15th Street. Once an officer is down, it's basically all hands on deck. Us in the media, to give you the information, we tried getting here as quickly as possible, but as you can imagine, with such a serious situation, it takes time. Roads are closed, crime scene tape goes up, and this is the situation right now. We're hearing possible, I could not tell if that was gunshots or something falling, but there are officers taking cover behind this vehicle right now. No, we're okay from our vantage point right here, but officers are now crouching down behind one of the patrol cars. There appear to be about 3 to 4 rapid fire shots. I cannot see. There are officers taking cover now. If you look in the distance here, they're running. Okay, guys, we're going to just stay back here, but we're going to show you what's going on. There are multiple officers running. A possible. I'm just relaying what I'm seeing here. We're taking cover beside a car and a home here on this block. Officers drawing their weapons and keeping us back. There appears to be possibly 3 to 4 shots being fired as about 30 seconds ago. Officers now back in the defensive position, guys. There are some that are taking cover. I see behind one of the row homes here, and others taking cover behind their patrol vehicles. And we're just gonna let this play out right now. This happening in just the past minute. You can see in the distance there, Matt, I don't know if you can show it, one of the responding vehicles with its lights and sirens heading northbound here.
Again, you're watching this. This happened about an hour ago, as you can see there on the screen, 5:30 Eastern time there in Philadelphia. It's showing you video from dramatic moments as the reporter there on the ground for a CBS Philadelphia station was in the middle of this. He was there covering this story, and then this broke out. I'm going to bring you back live here to the scene now on the ground there. You can see the Bearcat with the SWAT officer there with his gun out on top of that armored vehicle, and certainly an intense scene still unfolding. There's 6 police officers shot. As you know, this is that's certainly an all call for police officers across the city there in Philadelphia. They're at this scene as they're working now to continue to get into custody this active shooter. I can tell you that one of the producers here in the KHOU newsroom just came over and told me that they did have video come in from an affiliate there of them with at least one person in handcuffs. So we know that one person has been detained in this, but it's unclear if that is the person who was shooting. Obviously, they believe there still must be some type of threat if we're looking at this picture here with this armed officer there in tactical gear with his helmet on, the assault rifle up as they are aiming into what appears to be a home there where obviously this has unfolded in Philadelphia this afternoon. Certainly tragic news, 6 police officers shot. The latest update we got from police was that of those officers shot, none of them had life-threatening injuries. Again, working here in the newsroom to continue to get you the very latest information. If you're familiar with Philadelphia, I can tell you this is on North 15th Street. I'm working in a minute to get you a map up if I can. This is again Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood. We know that some of the officers went to Temple University Hospital, and I know that the reporter there in Philadelphia that was at the hospital said that it appeared that all the people who had been taken to that hospital were in stable condition. Hi, everybody. Brett Buffington back here with you in the KHOU 11 newsroom in Houston. If you are watching us on the side of your screen with me, he's this developing situation out of Philadelphia. Now a camera on the ground there, just blocks from where this active shooter is suspected to be still inside of a home. We did just get new information from CBS News, who is telling us now that of the police officers shot, one was shot in the head, one was shot in the hand, one was shot. Two of them were shot in the arm. We're still working to figure out the condition of the other officers. Again, 6 in total shot so far in this active shooting situation. A 7th officer injured in a car crash. We just learned too, neighbors and the media are about to be pushed back and evacuated from this neighborhood as this continues. And police in Philadelphia, many of you have been saying on this stream, are aware that there are reports that this shooter inside this home might be live streaming this on some social media platform as this unfolds there this afternoon. Again, this started at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock local time here in Houston. So now 2.5 hours into this, going to go back to this live picture here, show you what, oh, there we go, live picture, show you what we're looking at here on the ground there. And again, you can see the police van backed up there, just past that, the officer at the top of the armored car, the Bearcat there with his gun out. And I did pull up a map, nope, and it just moved on me, so stand by 1 second. Well, we'll get back to that in a moment. I did have a map up to show you exactly where we're talking about here in Philadelphia, the Nicetown neighborhood, Nicetown Tioga neighborhood, again, North 15th Street if you're familiar with Philadelphia. So working to get the latest again from our affiliate there. Did just get that update from CBS News. Where this CBS News and CBS in Philadelphia continue to call this a gun battle there. You can see the armored, or the officers in their tactical gear there, SWAT officers on the streets in Philadelphia. Again, I'm going to leave this picture up so you can continue to watch it. Any new information or questions that I can answer from you, I will be right in to do that with you. Again, trying to get the latest information. We're putting that on KHOU.com as well.
Is locating. We do see that Philadelphia police van, its doors wide open. That is often how suspects are transported after they're placed in custody. We do not know if that suspect is placed in custody, but as Joe Holden just mentioned, and as you just heard, his sources are reporting that this person was live streaming this up until about 3 or 4 minutes ago. That's not an indication as to whether or not the broadcast stopped because he was placed in custody. It does not appear that anyone has come out of this area. We have not heard, which is the great news, we have not heard any volleys of gunfire in the past 10 plus minutes. And the officers that were in defensive positions, you can see some SWAT members right now with tactical rifles past the scene. They're not rushing to any location. They're not in defensive positions, which is by all means, after a very hectic afternoon, a good indication that things at least are more controlled. I don't want to say that they are over. Of course, there's a lot to process here, but the situation, at least with SWAT members and the police in certain positions, has started to shift. You can see members of the SWAT team right now in the distance there. They're still in their tactical vehicle. That white van in the forefront here, we have not seen anyone, no one has been loaded into that vehicle just yet. We're hoping that this suspect is in custody and that things are going to wrap up. But I do hear commands being yelled, and there is one SWAT member I can see in the right portion perhaps of your screen running towards the location. I cannot tell what those SWAT members are yelling. So but that indication this is still going on. There are officers in multiple locations all throughout this area. I see one commanding officer to the right signaling to one of his officers. I don't know what is about to happen or whether they are still engaging with the suspect. The amount of police, at least physically that I could see, has changed, at least on this block in the Tioga section of North Philadelphia. Hold on. So, all right, guys, there is gunfire. All right, there's active gunfire, and police are now telling people if the suspect can see you, if you can see the house, he can see you. So now they're asking everyone to act. All right. There's still gunfire happening. We are in a location where we're blocked by vehicles, but the community here is getting a little bit tense.
You're gonna have to go to the end of the block.
All right, we're getting.
They're afraid of a round. Some did in the early confrontation.
Rounds
a couple came down this street.
Yes. The suspect's still inside, sir?
Yeah, but I'd say.
Okay.
Just try to move.
Sure. All right.
Yeah,
So one of the commanding officers here. We're going to be safe. We're going to just move down the street here, so bear with me. Thank you. We're moving down the street, guys. One of the commanding officers here at Philadelphia Police told us earlier that a round did come down the street. It wasn't while we were here, thank goodness. But obviously, we want to stay safe. And so the members of the community are moving as well, those here in this neighborhood.
And as they're backing up there in this shot in Philadelphia, come back to you here in Houston, where you continue to watch this happening again. Brett Buffington been with you throughout the afternoon with this story developing out of Philadelphia. We just learned that 3 of the 6 officers were taken to Temple University Medical Center. It's not far from this scene in North Philadelphia, and those officers, we are being told, are stable. So some good news there. Again, you just heard shots being fired in this live video. As a reporter there on the other box there is in Philadelphia. He's being told by police commanders there that they have to back up, and you heard the gunshots just in the last few seconds there. They've been told that you heard the police come down the street and tell the people there in that neighborhood. We've been watching from both above with the aerial pictures coming in here to our newsroom, as well as from this shot here on the ground. You've seen the people standing around there. Police just came and told them, if you can see this house, the shooter can see you. And obviously they told this reporter here that in the early part of this altercation this afternoon, bullets did come down this street. So they're being told they have to back up to the end of the street. It looked like they did have one person at least in custody earlier. Unclear how they are involved in this, but we did see one person in video in handcuffs. But obviously it's not the shooter, as we just heard gunshots here in the last few minutes. Again, this has been going on since 4 o'clock local time there in Philadelphia, 3 o'clock here in Central Time in Houston, and we've been watching this incredible scene unfold there. Again, 6 police officers shot, according to the Fraternal Order of Police there. We're going to leave this live picture up as we get ready for KHOU 11 News at 6. I have to get over to the broadcast side for that, and then I'll be right back here with you on this digital platform, this digital live stream on all of our platforms as we continue to watch this situation unfold in Philadelphia. We did learn that with the CBS News, evening news, we learned from them that one officer was shot in the head, one in the hand, and we learned earlier from police that 2 were shot in the arm. This is North 15th Street, the north side of Philadelphia. If you're familiar with the city, the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood is where we've been looking at. And again, you see this police commander there with this local reporter from Philadelphia who's been here at this scene for several hours. He was in the middle of the action, and probably an hour ago now, when you heard a lot of rapid fire shots. I played that video just a little bit ago, and when I get back here just after the 6 o'clock news, or 6 o'clock top of the news, I'll play that video again because it's absolutely incredible to hear the chaos and the commotion going on in the background there. Again, this is an active shooter. They're having to reroute buses there in Philadelphia around this scene. Obviously, you can see it is extensive. It's a large scene. They have to push people back in this neighborhood. Again, if you just joined us, we learned earlier that police were called here for some type of narcotics call, a narcotics investigation, and when they got there, this active shooting situation started. At first, it was 2 shots, reports of 2 officers shot, then 3, and now the number is up to 6, with a 7th officer injured in a car wreck there, either at the scene or on the way to the scene. So I'm going to leave this picture up so you can continue to watch it here on our live digital platforms, as well as on KHOU.com, where we are putting the latest information on this situation.
Do you want to go back 5 feet so we're in the shade? Do
What's that?
you want me to step right here?
I mean, I got the sun. You got some sun on you, because it's so bright back here. Like, and you're dark. Yeah. Guys. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I feel like
Get up on the curb. That van comes down here. They're gonna mow through you.
that's why I wouldn't.
Chief, you okay with this? Hey, Chief. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. All right, we're good here.
That's good.
Good? No, I'm good. Jack, are you good there? Can you see? Yeah, it's okay.
Stand by, Matt. Inspector, we're good right here. Thank you.
They still want us.
Yeah, wrap it around a pole and I'll put it on that pole. Throw it over.
Be innocent.
Yeah, well, you can see the police tape is being placed right behind us. We did check with the commanding officer. He has confirmed we are safe, especially on this side, which is the west side of the street. And that's because the shooter, we're told by that same commanding officer, is armed with a rifle. And rifle rounds can go very far, and they are very accurate. We were told earlier one of the suspect's bullets did go down the street. It was not while, I want to reiterate, it was not while we were here, thank God. But they are moving the public. You can see on this side of the street is their concern because that is in the rifle's range. And so members of the community, though, are refusing to leave their homes. They have the right to stay in their homes, of course, but we as members of the media are heeding this warning and we're staying safe, of course. We want to provide you the latest information. The commanding officer tells us we are in a safe spot right now, so we will continue to report what is going on. A very tense situation, one that is still active and still live, according to that commanding officer. A suspect barricaded apparently inside a home about 2 blocks or so from where I'm standing. I'm not going to give my exact location because, as Joe Holden was reporting, this person uses social media, perhaps is watching television, and was streaming this apparently live on some type of social media app as this was all unfolding. Right now, the terrible news is that 6 officers have been shot. Fortunately, we're told through multiple police sources, these injuries are non-life-threatening. A 7th officer in the incredible police response to help out the others that were injured was injured, him or herself, in a car crash as that person, that officer, was responding to the scene here. We're in the Tioga section of North Philadelphia, and I can tell you there are at least 50 or 60, 70 perhaps members from this neighborhood who are watching. Members of the media, of course, are covering this, and our goal is to give you this information and to keep ourselves safe. I'm with multiple photojournalists from our station, CBS 3. And we want to give you that information, guys, but we want to stay safe. Like I mentioned, this all began 4:35 this afternoon. We've heard multiple, I'm losing track now, I think we're up to 5 or 6 volleys of firefights, of gunshots, essentially, between police and the SWAT team. Since we are further back, you might not be able to tell, but there is a tactical SWAT unit. We saw a 2nd tactical unit pass by a few minutes ago, but that tactical unit in the middle of this street has multiple officers, SWAT members on it, with rifles pointed at the suspect's location. The goal, especially in a city, the city of Philadelphia, when there's open firefighting happening, is to get the person or people responsible in custody and to reduce any injuries. We already have 7 officers, 6 shot, 1 injured in the response. I don't believe there are any civilians hurt, but police are keeping everyone back, trying to get members of the community and people living in these homes out of the line of fire. But if we pan to the right here, you can see a very large group of people on that home right there. That is about where we were standing, across the street from them, not the same side. That side of the street, guys, is in the line of fire, according to the commanding officer of this suspect. And you obviously don't want anyone to get hurt. Police have asked those folks to leave, but it is private property and they don't have to. We moved back and we are in a safe spot now to report what is happening. I can tell you perhaps one of the most tense situations I've ever covered in my 11 plus years of reporting. I can tell you also that the goal now, as the sun is starting to set, what time is it? It's nearly 7 o'clock now. This started multiple hours ago, 4:30-ish, 4:35 or so, here in the Tioga section of North Philly for a warrant service call. Someone had a warrant out for his arrest. Police went to that location. They had information where he was, and apparently he was armed. And this has been going on, a terrifying situation with gunfire in the streets of North Philly happening between the suspect, Philadelphia police, and the Philadelphia SWAT team. These are highly trained men and women as part of the SWAT team who train for this, but it is still such a dangerous situation because this person, we're told by that same commanding officer who moved us back for our own safety and the safety of those in this community, this man is armed with a rifle of some sort. I don't know the model, but rifles can fire accurately at long distances, and they don't want anyone getting hurt. He is still, at least as of 10 minutes ago, not in police custody. And Yuki, go ahead.
Come over.
Copy that.
One federal source will stop search reporting the narcotics warning. Yes, they are. 2 officers need entry and arrested for
It's like, since we're like, I want you just to stay tight on that van in case he brings somebody out. See if
Who?
they- they-
Who?
38. See that he can just keep an eye on that.
Eddie, can you stay on the back of that van because they might load the suspect when he's in custody into it?
He's not live, but
Okay.
we can at least get the video for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, just so we have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Gonna be okay, girl?
You fine. Thank you. If I put up a flag right here, I'm good, right? Right here.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Perfect. Thank you. Stand right there for me, please. Eureka, stand this spot for me, please.
What?
I'm at 60% on my battery. So
Do you want to borrow? You want to get Anchor to get you one?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just have one on standby. Just to.
We're staying live until 8 p.m. Did you hear anything? Do you have IFB? Oh, no. Okay.
Just trying to get some B-roll stuff.
Give me 1 inch. Perfect.
Opening animation.
Stand by, and well, I can tell you, we've been here for a little over an hour. We've heard multiple gunshots being fired. We've even been moved. You see where that first yellow caution tape is, that police tape? Then there's the second one. We were originally at that first now back. The reason being, police say that they're concerned because this is an active situation. They don't want anybody to get hurt.
I haven't, no. I'm low on batteries here.
Oh, even
Yeah, I only have my charger for my phone, my IFB.
6 police officers shot that we're aware of. The injuries that we're hearing these officers suffered is a gunshot to the head. 1 officer was shot in the hand, 1 in the leg. We're hearing that they're expected to be in state.
No, we're good with battery, but I want to confirm, Joe is now saying it's 5 shot, a 6th injured in the response. Is that accurate?
When we were a little bit closer, I could hear what sounded as though the SWAT
6 total, right? 6 total shot or 6 injured?
it's our understanding that there's at least 1 person in that house that is continuing to fire those rounds. And we're also
And what about, was there 1 injured in a response?
evidence of that. That is something that is reported at this hour. Gunshots in the last 5-10 minutes or so, but not that long ago we heard a pop, pop, pop.
Just swap. See if they can just take a soft pop.
There were neighbors who were all of this. It sounded like
So 6 total shot, multiple being treated for non-gunshot injuries, but not a specific number.
There's 2 batteries. I know.
Okay. All right, what do you got to do?
Just tell them to get off my shot for like 1 second.
Can you get
just
off
in
of
case.
Matt's shots for one second so you can
swap a
replace the battery out?
And I don't want it to crap out on air. Just in case. I'm not going to chop it.
It's still hot?
Yes.
Just for
Yes.
like 20 seconds.
Should be fine. I know, but I don't want to take a chance in case it cracks. Yeah. Take Joe full.
I mean, if they don't take them,
You're off.
Just in
But-
case. I just want to do a precautionary.
We're good?
All
right, we're good.
It was just more of that.
Yep. Yep. We were back.
Just in case.
All right. So, me live or just picture?
Huh?
Come on.
We're good. Okay.
Uh-huh. Just picture.
Up above, so just even getting that aerial perspective and seeing the large police presence is extremely concerning for residents. Our understanding is that police were here to serve a arrest warrant, and there were multiple people inside the house. Again, we believe some of those people have been taken into
top of the truck. It's facing. I can zoom in more. They don't want me to get too tight.
I don't know using that as like a gear in, gear out kind of thing. I don't think that's for a suspect that they're going to bring out.
Okay.
As I keep going, I keep seeing SWAT guys walk up to the rear.
Hi, everybody. Brett Buffington back here with you in the KHOU 11 News newsroom as we continue to follow this situation out of Philadelphia. 6 officers confirmed shot there this afternoon in an active shooting where we know police there were working to serve some type of narcotics warrant at a home in the northern part of Philadelphia along North 15th Street. You're looking live on the side of the screen here at a live shot from the ground from our CBS affiliate in Philadelphia. We've learned from the police there that they still have had gunshots come from inside that home in just the last few minutes. In fact, if you've been watching this feed for a while now, you saw the reporters being backed up there. They have taken people from this neighborhood and asked them to leave their homes and get down the street because the police there said, hey, if you can see this house, they believe the shooter could see them and there were people in danger. So the news, the TV cameras there, they have been backed up, and so have the people in this neighborhood. I want to go back and show you a map here, if we can pull it up. If you're familiar with Philadelphia, this is where we're talking about here. 15th Street is just a couple blocks off Broad Street. The good news is you can kind of see the red dots over to the side of the screen there. That is the hospital where these officers, at least 3 of the 6 officers who have been injured, have gone to.
Can you guys hear me at the?
And again, you can hear the reporter there from our local affiliate. I'm going to pull his audio back down. We've been monitoring this situation since it started around 4 o'clock Philadelphia time, 3 o'clock here in Houston, and it has certainly been chaotic in the city of Philadelphia this afternoon, especially the north part in the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood, if you're familiar with the city, and that is where this shot is coming out of this afternoon. There's a van, as the reporter described it there, this police van you're looking at with the front of it facing us. He said that is where you typically see in Philadelphia, those vans come in when they are arresting suspects. We do know we saw video in our newsroom earlier of them with at least one person in handcuffs and quickly was carried off and put into the back of a car. We don't know how that person was involved in this, but we do know that they still have an active shooter inside a home there. You can see that officer on top of what the police call a Bearcat. It's an armored car often used by the SWAT team, the tactical teams in cities. They have quite a few here in Houston and Harris County, but an officer's there to the turret of that armored vehicle with his rifle on the other side of him pointed at this home. So they still believe there is a threat in this neighborhood, and I can tell you that in just the last few minutes there have been gunshots there in North Philadelphia coming from that home. You could hear them in this feed with the local affiliate's reporter there on the ground. Again, 6 police officers shot. We know 3 have been taken to Temple University Medical Center, which I go back, if I can, to this map here, and I'll show you just the distance between Temple University Medical Center, which is just along Broad Street here, right here. You can see on the map, Temple University Medical Center there. The shooting is happening in this block of North 15th Street. So police, they didn't have very far to go at all to get to the hospital, the EMS, I should say, with these injured officers. So thankful for that. Again, we've told earlier from the Deputy Police Commissioner there in Philadelphia that all of the injuries appeared to be non-life-threatening. CBS News reported that one of the officers had been shot in the head. another shot in the hand, and then we learned from police earlier that 2 officers had been shot in the arm, again serving a narcotics warrant here in North Philadelphia along North 15th Street earlier today. We don't know very much more about that, about the person that we saw in handcuffs. Obviously, there's still a major threat here in the city of Philadelphia with this. It continues to go on. It's 3 hours into this, 3 hours and 10 minutes since apparently the first call happening just around 3 o'clock. Certainly there are trying to get this guy to come out of the house, and I can tell you that the sergeant in charge of public information there, or that works with the public information department with the Philadelphia Police Department, Eric Grip, it just tweeted out that officers are attempting to communicate with the shooter and implore him to surrender and avoid any further injuries. That's obviously what we're watching here going with the officer there through the top of the armored vehicle. At 7 o'clock local time, so just 10 minutes ago, 7 o'clock local time in Philadelphia. The latest update from the police department is that the situation is still active and ongoing. 6 Philadelphia Police Department officers have been shot, and they continue to receive treatment at local hospitals. And they said the shooter is still armed and inside of the location, asking that people avoid the area. I'm going to pull the mic down for just a second, check your comments, and I'll be right back with you.
As well as the Philadelphia police. They were coming from the direction where all of this action was taking place. Our photojournalist Ed Spey actually followed them and was able to talk with them. They said they were inside the house at the time on the 2nd floor, and that the Philadelphia police saved them. That just happened in just a few minutes. They were escorted away, like I mentioned, by uniformed SWAT members and the Philadelphia police. But right now here on the scene where those 4 ladies just came from, still SWAT is located. There's a large many people in this community still gathered, and all eyes are focused on this one home here in North Philadelphia, apparently all beginning around 4:35 as we've been reporting for a warrant service call. Joe Holden, my colleague, said it perfectly. It is one of the most dangerous calls members of law enforcement can go on because they simply do not know what they could encounter. And in this situation today, Wednesday, they encountered gunfire. 6 officers are confirmed shot, but fortunately those officers have non-life-threatening injuries. We're also told by the official Philadelphia Police Twitter account there are multiple non-gunshot injuries to officers. They did not give a specific number. All of those injuries, the non-gunshot injuries, as well as the 6 officers shot, I want to reiterate, we're told are non-life-threatening, but still, when you have 6 officers shot and a suspect in a dense metropolitan area, still barricaded as sun is setting, it is a dangerous situation, to put it lightly, here in North Philadelphia. Members of the community have been told by commanding officers to get out of the street. They are in the line of fire. They have the right to stay there. It is their property, or at least some of their property. They have not moved, but officers told us we are in a safe place right now, even though earlier, before we were on location here, at least 1 shot fired by that suspect, who we're told by commanding officers has some type of rifle, came down this street. It did not hit anyone, but it just shows you the dangerousness, the dangerous situation that can unfold on a fraction of a second's notice here. There are police negotiators here, multiple SWAT members. In fact, if we pan to the left right here, these officers, as well as that SWAT member, I believe, were the ones who were escorting the 4 females from the scene. Once again, 2 women, 2 younger, appear to be maybe teens or children, who told our photojournalists here on scene they were on the 2nd floor of this home. I do not know if that's also where the suspect was, but they were on the 2nd floor of the home when the shots started ringing out, and they were saved. This is a quote. They were saved by the Philadelphia police. So they were upset. They were crying as they passed our cameras, but they're now in a safe location. I cannot imagine what was going through their minds over the past few hours, because this has now extended almost into hour 3. Shots fired at 4:35. Dozens, if not hundreds, of officers from all throughout the city, different jurisdictions, Temple Police, the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office, descending is the best word I can use, descending upon this scene here, the Tioga section of North Philadelphia. I'm not giving the exact location because we don't know if the suspect is in custody, and we don't know if he is watching. We're told he is armed with a rifle and apparently multiple rounds. Over the past now almost 3 hours, I've heard at least 5 volleys of fire. We've heard negotiators with the Philadelphia SWAT team trying to communicate directly with this suspect. Our Joe Holden, through his multiple police sources in upper command of the Philadelphia Police Department, reporting that this suspect was even live streaming the entire situation, this dangerous situation, on some type of social media platform, which is incredible if you think about it. We've witnessed at least 4 women who were in the home at the time of this shooting being escorted out. And now, essentially, guys, it is a waiting game. We are waiting to see how this is all going to wrap up. The Philadelphia police, the SWAT members are in front of that home, just a few blocks north of where I'm standing here, and they have made contact with this suspect who's apparently live streamed this. Now they have to end it. The sun is setting. I don't know what will happen, or if officers will bring spotlights out in the next 45 minutes or so when the sun sets, because as you can see, this block here is shaded and they have to have eyes on this suspect. Everyone in this community, everyone in the Philadelphia Police Department, everyone watching, I'm sure, wants to see this end. It's been hours now of gunfire in North Philadelphia and just a terrifying situation. Yuki and Natasha, hopefully this will wrap up soon, but if this is any indication, we've been here now 3 hours. This person is apparently, there's some kind of commotion happening. I think it's some interaction with police. I do not hear any gunfire or whatnot, but hopefully this will wrap up very soon as sun sets here in North Philadelphia, Yuki.
What we're watching there is the local reporter in Philadelphia doing a live shot with the station that has gone into extended coverage there, obviously, with this situation still unfolding in North Philadelphia. Again, you just heard the latest information there from the scene. I pulled his audio down so I could update you here in the newsroom and tell you exactly what you're looking at, so you didn't think, especially if you're a KHOU viewer, that you were watching some random person. This is a reporter who's been there at the scene doing an incredible job this afternoon in a very tough situation. That shots were being fired just less than a block away from where he was earlier in his live coverage, and then since has backed up now to a safer spot. He was telling the story of 2 people who the SWAT team there had to go in and actually rescue from a house and get out. Now he's talking again. I'm going to pull his audio back up. So
they were visibly upset, crying, as they were escorted down this street right here. And I'm sorry, there was some type of commotion happening. I'm just going to step out of the way here just to let our photojournalist show you the scene live. Not sure what is happening just this second, but I can tell you those women, as you mentioned, Yuki, I mean, imagine being in this home where I've counted just on my own accord more than 25 shots fired, and I wasn't even here for the initial interaction of all of it. We were inching our way towards the scene because the police response was so massive. Whenever there are officers injured or shot, of course, anyone who's available is going to rush to the scene here in law enforcement. That's exactly what happened at 4:35. Members of the Philadelphia Police Department now are engaging. Go ahead. It just appears that they're engaging some members of the community who have gathered. These folks that you see to the right have been asked to get off of that side of the street because they are in the line of fire. That is why we moved here to this safe location on the other side of the street, about 50 or 60 yards from them. But of course, they have the right to be there. It's their property. And so they have not moved. I don't know. I see some of the detectives and the command staff here with the Philadelphia Police Department walking across the street here in North Philly. I do not know if this is coming to a conclusion. I have not heard gunfire, which is great, in the past 30 minutes or so. So we do see some officers running in the distance, but I cannot tell you exactly where they are running to. We do want to share also, I just mentioned Yuki and Natasha, the 4 women, the 2 adults and what appear to be 2 children or 2 younger women escorted from the house they said they were in when all of this unfolded. Here's what they had to say. Take a listen as to what they told our photojournalist, Ed Spey.
So that is a soundbite that you can't play from back here. That's content that they're broadcasting there in Philadelphia. We're dipping into their extended live coverage and their reporter here at the scene to bring you the very latest on this live broadcast here on all our digital platforms. But a live picture there from the scene. He was just describing, the reporter here, these people who are standing out in the street live here in this neighborhood, and they are next to their property, of course. And in a lot of situations like this, the police can ask you to leave. They can't tell you to leave your property unless it's absolute mandate. I got it up. And so they are standing there against the recommendation of the police department. Again, the reporter you see there on the screen, obviously his words don't match up, is because we pulled his audio back down. He is a reporter for the CBS affiliate in Philadelphia. Again, talking about an incredible job he's done here this afternoon, telling this story there from the street, just blocked from where this person is inside of this home. And again, I'm going to pull this Google Map image back up so I can show you where we're talking about here. If you're familiar with North Philadelphia, this is North 15th Street where this is happening, the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood, and just blocks from the Temple University Hospital. So I want to show you that first. It's right here, lighting up, highlighted in blue. You can see that is the hospital where we know at least 3 of the 6 injured police officers have been taken, and the local reporter, the local station there, reporting that the officers taken there are in stable condition. But this shooting literally was just blocks away here on the northern, North 15th Street. So 4 blocks, if you will, from the hospital. Thankfully, those officers that were injured did not have very far to go. Again, this all started at 3 o'clock local time in Philadelphia, 4 o'clock here, 4 o'clock in Philadelphia, 3 o'clock here in Houston, and we have been following this very closely ever since. Incredible scene to see from the air. The local affiliate's helicopter was up above and was up above this, and you could see the incredible police presence that is there. Again, the police just tweeted out in their latest update that this is still an active situation and it is still ongoing. We have a separate shot here also coming in to the newsroom, and I'll just pop in and show you that so you can see how close all the media is together. They have all been backed up. All of the cameras that were down closer to the scene have been pushed back several blocks. They said to the end of the street. I don't know how exactly far they were talking about, but several blocks further than where they were earlier. And this is just been quite something to watch unfold here this afternoon. Again, 6 police officers have been shot trying to serve a narcotics warrant there in Philadelphia. And heard from the police, from their sources there, CBS in Philadelphia, that several other officers, they didn't give a number of officers who had been injured, but they said several other officers had also been injured in other ways. We know one officer was wounded in a crash. Not sure how serious his injuries are. Police did say in their last update, at least the deputy police commissioner there said that of the officers injured, none had life-threatening injuries. So that is some good news. But that again was when the count of officers injured was a little lower than it is now. That was back at 4, I believe. Now we're up to 6, and this active situation in Philadelphia and North Philadelphia continues this afternoon, and certainly hopeful that it wraps up soon. Police did say that they are actively communicating with the shooter who was inside of this house, but within the last 30 minutes, you could hear gunshots. So obviously this is still ongoing. And bear with us, this is our feeds coming into our newsroom that we're sharing with you, so it's not going to be perfect video. You see it shaking around there, but we want to share this with you live as it's coming in with the very latest information that we're learning from our local affiliate there, CBS Philadelphia, as well as CBS News, and from the Philadelphia Police Department. So we're keeping this broadcast up so you can watch it come in with us, and working with a team of digital reporters here in the newsroom to continue to gather the latest information out of Philadelphia and pass it along to you. Your comments scrolling to the bottom of the screen. A lot of people certainly thinking of the Philadelphia Police Department and the people there in Philadelphia this afternoon. We've gotten statements from Chief Art Acevedo, the Chief of Police here in Houston, as well as the head of the Police Officers Association, the police union here, Joe Grimaldi. Certainly they are thinking of their brothers and sisters in blue this afternoon. And again, as you look at this, again, live video coming into the scene, so bear with the pictures as we watch the local affiliates there as they're doing their updates. We're certainly dumping in. So if you see faces you don't recognize, it's because we're dumping into their live shots, and we're certainly appreciative that they are putting them up so that we can share with you what's happening in their community tonight.
SWAT team, they are armed with rifles. As we've confirmed, the suspect is armed with one as well. So we're not sure if that shot was fired by police, if that shot was fired by the suspect. We have not seen much interaction or much commotion, so to speak, from police as that shot rang out. So it might have been from the SWAT team. But once again, Joe, Yuki, and Natasha, more gunshots being fired right now. And so if we just look, if we pan out wide, Matt, I just want to show real quick, Joe, sorry, that these folks on the right-hand side, go ahead.
So again, this is extended coverage from the CBS affiliate in Philadelphia, and we're just dipping into their cameras that are out here and watching what's happening. Again, this is North 15th Street in the Knightstown, Tioga neighborhood in Philadelphia. If you're familiar with the city, and you can see through the people there who, in fact, police have asked these people to back up, and because this is their neighborhood, this is their property, they are still standing there and certainly interested in what is going on. But their warning from police was that if you can see the house where this is happening, they believe that the shooter can see you. So, and we learned from police also, as they were backing up the media, one of the police supervisors there on the scene told reporters that earlier in the day when this first started, again around 3 o'clock local time in Philadelphia, that one of the shots, at least one of the shots, came flying down this street. So these people could be in danger themselves, and certainly that's why police asked them to back up. And what you're watching is down where you see the guy on top of that armored vehicle. We believe that the house is just to the left of where that is. They are still actively engaged with this shooter. Police there say they are talking to the guy, and that they are trying to convince him to come out before any more shots are fired, before anyone else is injured. Again, 6 police officers shot there. Police also said that several other people had been hurt. As you continue to watch, this is a live feed out of Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, where we're looking down North 15th Street. This has been going on now for 2.5 hours. Oh, 3.5 hours.
I think, yeah.
So Mr. Bad at math. 3.5 hours there. Started at 4 o'clock in Philadelphia, 3 o'clock local time. So now 6:30 coming up here in Houston, and we continue to watch this unfold in Philadelphia. Police had several officers hurt, not shot, on top of the 6 officers shot. So certainly lots of people praying for the Philadelphia Police Department. Now, your comments scrolling there at the bottom of the screen. I'll check over and see if there's any more to add. If you have any questions that I can answer. I certainly will try my best to do that. Certainly a lot of police officers there in that neighborhood tonight trying to bring this to some kind of end to get this situation over with, at least the active shooter part of this situation. It's going to be an intense investigation that will follow this. Obviously, anytime police officers are injured, they take that very seriously. And personally, just learning from the tweeting just now, the sergeant that works with the Public Information Department with the Philadelphia Police Department says this continues to go on there, and the suspect is still shooting at police officers there, and police are continuing to attempt to communicate with the suspect while he is shooting at them. And we continue to get these live feeds from our CBS affiliates our CBS affiliate and from CBS News now, who are both in Philadelphia this evening as this unfolds on the north side of their city. If you're just joining us, Bev Buffington here in the KHOU newsroom. Been on top of this story for much of the evening here, and we continue to follow it here in the newsroom with the latest on KHOU.com. A team of digital producers are working on keeping the very latest information from Philadelphia up on our website, and I'm here with you on social media on all of our digital platforms now, streaming with the latest from Philadelphia as you continue to watch what's happening here in this neighborhood with your comments scrolling and your questions right there at the bottom of the screen. Again, the latest information, 6 police officers shot, and this is still an active shooter investigation, active shooter situation going on there in this Philadelphia neighborhood. It started at 4 o'clock local time, 3 o'clock here in Houston. We've been monitoring this ever since. We broke it here on the 4 o'clock news, and we started our live stream. We've been here live with you on the digital platforms for the entirety. Again, incredible amount of police presence there in this neighborhood trying to bring this to a peaceful end tonight. I'll go back and show you the live pictures coming out of Philadelphia. You can see the guy there down the street, the SWAT officer on top of that armored vehicle, trying to communicate with this guy. Police says they're actively doing that. Still at least one person inside of this home with a weapon, with a gun, still engaged with police and still actively shooting. I'm going to bring this map back up so you can see what we're talking about here. If you're familiar with Philadelphia, this is Temple University Medical Center. You can see popping up there. We know at least 3 of the injured police officers have been brought there, and of those officers that are there, they are in stable condition according to what one of the local reporters there for CBS Philadelphia has put out. This shooting scene, it is just 4 or so blocks away on North 15th Street. We kind of zoom into the area, and if you go to Google Maps yourself, Google has actually pinpointed the shooting location to a home right here on North 15th Street, and try to go in with a street view and see if it'll let me do that on here. Here we go. So this is North 15th Street in this neighborhood that we are talking about in Philadelphia. This is from Google Earth images, so this is what it would look like without all the police officers there, giving you the virtual tour, if you will. And from what we're looking at, let me just move up the street here. This situation is unfolding here. Let's make sure we're going the right direction. So stand by with me 1 second. Yep. We need to go the other way on North 15th Street. So this situation is unfolding just down near the intersection of here. So that's what we're looking at on the map, at least. This is the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood in North Philadelphia, if you're familiar with it. And going back to the live picture, you can see, you can bear with the camera shots here, if you will. This is live feeds coming into our newsroom of what we're looking at in Philadelphia here on North 15th Street. Again, you can see that armored vehicle up there. That is the home where this is all unfolding. Just to the left of that, you can see the officer up in the turret on top of that. And we know that from police there, they say they are still engaged with at least one shooter inside of this home. interesting point. A lot of people are asking about this live streaming. Police sources confirmed to the local CBS affiliate there that indeed they believe that the person inside this home was live streaming at least part of the confrontation with police officers. That stopped about 5:30 this afternoon. They said that stream went off, according to the local station's reports there. But believe that while this shootout with police was going on, the person inside the home, at least one of them, it's unclear exactly how many people were inside, but we do know police were going there to serve a narcotics warrant, and they were met with gunfire essentially as soon as they pulled up. So that's how this unfolded this afternoon. And again, we've been watching this now for going on 3.5 hours now, 6:36 local time here in Houston, and this is still an active shooter situation on the streets of North Philadelphia tonight. A lot of people are I guess, running the scene from home, if you will, and saying what police should do. A lot of times you do see them make entry with either a robot or something like that. I can tell you from the scenes that I've been out on, people are suggesting flashbangs or something like that. But at this point, when they're actively engaged, a lot of times I've watched police just wait this out. And you know, this guy's obviously, the person inside is someone who is not scared of the police officers outside. If you've seen with the engagement of gunfire with a massive amount of police officers who are now outside, and so who wants the count to go any higher than 6, which is already incredibly sad to know that someone or a group of people, it's unclear exactly how many people were shooting, but
can I listen to the sound?
6 police officers have been shot tonight, and we know from police that several more have been hurt in different kind of situations, I guess, outside of the home. We know one was injured in a car crash, either at or on the way to the scene. So it's a dangerous situation in North 15th Street in Philadelphia tonight.
I sounded exactly, I mean, it sounded like, I was on the street over Sydenham, one block to the east.
It wasn't here?
No, it was here too, but I heard the first 2 volleys. Four women were being escorted by Philadelphia SWAT as well as members of the Philadelphia Police Department. Appeared to be 2 adult women and 2 younger women. Our photojournalist Ed Spay was able to catch up with those women as they were being escorted from the scene. They said they were inside the house at the time, and take a listen as to what their reaction was.
Again, sorry, we're working on getting content here to share with you. Talking about this. I'm going to get you a 911 call up very soon so you can hear what the CBS station there says, quote, "Give me SWAT ASAP." As a panic call reveals the moments that shots were fired at police there in Philadelphia. Again, as you're watching this this evening here with us, we are watching these feeds come in to the KHOU newsroom. I turned his mic off as he's talking about stuff I can't feed to you or show you right now through this, but you can see that's a local reporter from CBS Philadelphia who's been on this story, doing an incredible job sharing with us and allowing us to share here with our audience in Southeast Texas and everyone here on our digital platforms what is going on there. Again, he's been at the scene for most of the evening. Going to bring his audio back up so you can continue to follow along with him and then I'll work to get some more of the latest information here in the newsroom.
Those also non-life threatening, fortunately. And ever since around 4:35, there's been continuous back and forth bursts of gunfire every 20, 30 minutes or so between the Philadelphia SWAT department and the suspect inside this home. You just heard where those 4 women were inside as well. We're told by one of the commanding officers here on scene that suspect does have some type of rifle. Those can fire long distances very accurately, and that's why they're keeping us far from this scene. A very active scene as the sun starts setting now, going into 3+ hours of a barricade situation here in North Philadelphia. Still an active one. The SWAT team out front with their tactical units and their long guns, as was called for during police dispatch some 3 hours ago. Hopefully this will all resolve. Hopefully the SWAT team will be able to enter this facility, and hopefully they'll be able to put this person, this male we're told, in handcuffs and transport him to the police department for questioning. We are in, as I've been reporting all afternoon, as you've seen with this community, the neighbors here, a very dense section of Philadelphia. This is not a rural area by any means if you're watching this from outside of the city limits, and it's populated. There are businesses, stores, homes. You just heard from those women who were inside the very home, they say, where the suspect started firing with police, and right now, we still have the SWAT team here trying to end this situation before nightfall. I cannot tell you how important that is, of course, because actually, let me pan to the left here. You can see a SWAT vehicle now, a second SWAT vehicle perhaps taking a position. The home, I'm not going to say our exact location, is about a block from where that SWAT vehicle, the second tactical unit, is being placed in the intersection right here. And I don't know if that's an indication that they're going to make entry. I don't know if you can see now the SWAT vehicle is going in the direction of that home. There are multiple SWAT members, of course, at least a dozen with the Philadelphia Police Department, and I would estimate more than 100 plainclothes and uniformed officers here on scene as well, basically trying to end this, guys. I cannot tell you how important it is, Yuki and Natasha, to get this guy in cuffs and get their hands, get the police to remove this weapon that he's been firing all afternoon.
I said, give me a shot, and I'll go there and get him out.
So as you continue to watch this, we were listening to him describe this second now Bearcat, this armored vehicle coming in to this neighborhood. You talked about the area they were in. I wanted to show you again. This is a Google map image, and this is Temple University Hospital here. This is where 3 of the 6 officers are being treated. Again, Brett Buffington here with you in the KHOU newsroom in Houston as we are dipping in and out of the coverage from our CBS affiliate in Philadelphia. This shooting scene, this active shooting scene, is just blocked from the medical center here on North 15th Street. On Google Maps, they have labeled it here in this area of North 15th near this street, which name I'm not even going to butcher here tonight, but this is North Philadelphia in the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood, and we've been watching in and out of the, dipping in and out of the CBS affiliate there. Again, hey, with you, Brett Buffington in the KHOU newsroom. I'm going to take a quick break from this. Going to leave the image up so you can watch the live pictures continuing to come in here to our newsroom, and I'll be right back with you with a couple of new developments. Just going to put some more video into the system so we can show you some of the moments that have happened earlier in the afternoon. There's my mic. Hey, everybody, back with you. Obviously, their shot out of Philadelphia froze, at least on that camera. So we're going to swap back over again. We're monitoring the very latest in this. We're working on getting some more content loaded into the system, including, I want to show you this. I'm going to switch over to this so you can look down the street again. This is North 15th Street in Philadelphia. I want to come up and pull back some video from the CBS affiliate in Philadelphia. And just give me 1 second as I get through their website to pull up this clip. So I'm just going to pull this up and play the audio because apparently this is incredible.
Hey, Natasha and Yuki, just trying to keep posted on some timelines for our viewers, understanding when things may happen and when things may occur outside Temple University ER. Our news partner, KYW News Radio 1060, Pat Loeb, reports on Twitter that the Philadelphia...
So stand by just 1 second. As I cut my we're watching live now here, the coverage out of Philadelphia.
Like, not really, but it was very random. It wasn't like, hey, I just have to birthday gas. And then they start arguing about the airport.
Is that you guys?
We're going to stay with this live video, and as we do, as we watch this active scene, we have a recording. We're going to play the very dramatic call for help that went out earlier today, and as we do, I want to let you know that it may be a little difficult to understand what is coming over the scanner, but I'm sure you'll be able to get the gist of it all. Let's play that right now.
Car stand by, 3700 North 15th Street, shots fired at police. Shots fired at police inside the property. Inside the property. Possibly injured officers, we got a possible barricade. Cars use caution, please, and respond.
Right now.
Stand by, car stand by, second assist, shots fired inside.
Crazy 101 in, the shot's still ringing off. Give me SWAT ASAP. Long gun ASAP. Radio, I got an officer shot radio. Alright, so I please SWAT. Radio, listen. Take the 101 in. I got an officer shot at dislocation in the leg. 121, please. Send additional cars immediately. Additional cars were still shots fired. I got officer shot at dislocation. Like lower extremities of further dread.
Our standby is going to be a 36. We got several shots, officers. We got an officer down. I need long gun SWAT. We have an officer shot, and they're still being shot at.
Incredible moments there. That was the CBS Philadelphia website. We just pulled that up off of. That is the moments around 3 o'clock local time in Philadelphia there. As you go back in, on the side screen here, you're looking at live pictures down North 15th Street in North Philadelphia with those incredible 911 call, or I guess I should say police radio traffic. That was courtesy of Broadcastify and CBS Philadelphia. The moments that these brave officers showed up, that we know that they were serving a narcotics warrant at this home this afternoon, and you could hear the panic moments where they were calling for SWAT, for officers with rifles, with long guns there to that home as they were actively engaging at least one shooter with shots fired. Again, this started at 3 o'clock this afternoon. 6 Philadelphia police officers have been shot. As this continues, we know that they are still engaged with at least one shooter in that home in that North Philadelphia neighborhood. Again, being told again by police in Philadelphia that all officers have non-life-threatening injuries. We are still working to get specific updates on where the officers were shot, but obviously the police there are still very, very busy trying to end this tonight. They want this guy in custody, or at the very least they want the active shooting situation over. Going to go back to this live picture that we're looking at from North Philadelphia. Again, Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood, if you're familiar with the city. And this standoff there between armed SWAT officers and at least one person with some type of rifle inside this home continues. You can see the people there in front of the camera. They have been urged by police to back up and did not heed the advice of the police. They are still standing there. The police warning to them specifically was, if you can see this house, they believe that the person with a gun can see them. So, and in fact, a police captain there, as police supervisor on the scene, told the local reporter that at one point during the early part of this, shots were coming down this street where even the reporters are standing. They've been backed up and have zoomed in their camera. I can tell you there were several different daycares that had to be evacuated by police. They just tweeted out that those precious children have been loaded up into a bus, and now they've given information to their parents on how to come and pick them up. But certainly that has to be an incredibly scary moment, knowing that this is going on, finding out that this is going on in a neighborhood where you dropped off your most precious thing in the world today, and then seeing this news and wondering if your child's okay. So thankfully, none of them were hurt. They've all been taken by bus and now at a location so that people there, the parents, can come and pick them up. We continue now going into 4 hours of watching this stream from Philadelphia, this coverage of this active shooter situation, and you continue to join us here in the KHOU 11 newsroom. Brett Buffington here with you. I've been with you much of the afternoon following this story. If you're here in Houston, you certainly have the rain continuing to fall. We've put up our radar and live pictures of that on our other social media broadcasting platforms. So here on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on KHOU.com. You can also watch the latest on the weather. We've put that up as well, or are working to put it up right now. So that'll be up as well. If you're here concerned about the rain coming in through your neighborhood, heavy rainfall followed in Houston, that's coming up as well. But here we're going to stay with the latest out of Philadelphia. I'm going to continue to show you these live pictures. And again, bear with us, because as you can see in the side box here, you can see people stepping in and out in front of the cameras. These are the cameras that reporters would normally be using to do their live shots there in Philadelphia. So as they're doing their coverage there, we will certainly see them step in front of the cameras. And when they have pertinent information to tell you, of course, we'll bring their audio up. So if you see somebody unfamiliar to you, not a KHOU face, know that we're working with our CBS sister station there, CBS Philadelphia, Channel 3 up there, to continue to bring you this story here on all of our digital platforms. So again, you see this live picture out of Philadelphia. Somebody just stepped back in the front of the shot. Obviously, there's a crowd of people there in front of the camera, between the camera and where the this standoff continues to go on. So hopefully this person moves back out of the way very soon. But on the box here, there we go. You can see they have now, we've watched a few moments ago, you see the Bearcat there, the armored vehicle with its lights on. We watched them pull up in a second one, so that is now a second armored vehicle here on this street, two of them in front of this house, where police have said they continued to engage in both gunfire and communication with this person, armed person who was inside. It's unclear how many people were there to begin with. We know they have at least one person who has been actively shooting at or towards police officers and has shot 6 of them.
Officers returned fire, many of whom had to escape through windows and doors to get from a barrage of bullets. Right now, we can tell you that there are 6 police officers who were struck by gunfire. Thankfully, all of them are in stable condition. They were struck throughout their body. One officer sustained a gunshot wound, a grazed wound to his head. Thankfully, that was all that was. Got an officer shot in his head. Thankfully, that was all that was. Got an officer shot in the arms. Got officers shot in various parts of their body, but fortunately, everybody's going to be okay. We have 3 here. We have 3 at Einstein. We have a couple officers that were actually injured responding to the scene. I will tell you, having been at that scene for the last couple of hours, trying to talk to this male, he continues to fire rounds out of the window. So this situation is in no way resolved. I wanted to come and give you some kind of update to see, let you know where we are, but we are trying to talk to this male, trying to let him know that he can end this peacefully now. We've called him multiple times. He has picked up the phone a couple times, but he has not answered. So we've been trying to work with a family member, but right now we have not been successful. Despite several attempts to talk to him, both on a loudspeaker, on a bullhorn, and on telephone, we have not been able to make contact with him thus far. We're trying to get him to come out peacefully, but right now he refuses to do so. I have to get back over to the scene. I will answer a few brief questions, and then the mayor might have some comment, and others might have comment, but right now I have to get back over because the critical thing to tell you that I did not tell you is I have some situations where I'm worried about potential hostage situations, so we've got to get that resolved. All right,
Commissioner, can you tell us how the 2 officers who are inside, are they doing? Any insight into their well-being?
We believe they're okay, and I'm not going to say much more about that right now, out of concern for their safety right now. So we believe that this male is in a certain part of the building. I won't tell you where they are, where he is right now, so that I don't endanger the officers on the scene in any way. But it is a very volatile situation that is still unfolding. So as a result, there's but so much I can tell you about what's going on inside of that property, save for the fact that even when I was on scene, he fired multiple rounds, many of which that struck the SWAT truck and buildings across the street. And that's long after I got there, long after it started. So he was continued to fire. It is a grave concern to us, but we're trying to communicate to him that we want him out safely, even going as far as telling him that the officers are going to be okay and that there's nothing that we can't work through. But right now, we are not successful. So I'm going to get back over there. I'll answer just a few questions, and then I got to get back over there.
Have you spoken to any of the officers' families?
Just you talking about the injuries?
Yeah,
that's what I just went in there.
yeah.
So I didn't get a chance because of proximity to make it to Einstein. I'll get up there a little later. Thankfully, everybody's going to be okay. I did speak to all 3 that are here, and they're all in good spirits. But we're concerned about this whole situation.
Commissioner, do you think there's just one shooter?
Right now, we're not sure, and so I don't want to say that and be wrong, nor from a tactical standpoint do we want to make that assumption.
Commissioner, is there anyone in custody at this time?
There were people who were taken into custody initially, okay? And there may be even someone in custody inside. But right now, what we know is this male is holed up inside, and he is not, since I've come here in the last 20 minutes or so, there's no indication that he's trying to surrender right now. We do know he's still alive. There's no question about that because of the shots that keep ringing out. So we're very concerned about, the neighborhood. We're very concerned about our police officers. But again, we're doing everything within our power to get him to come out. All right?
Commissioner, you said you've been in touch with his family. What are they saying about this?
Well, I mean, what we're just trying to do right now is do as much as we can to resolve this peacefully. And so without getting into all of that at this point, we're trying to use and leverage everything possible. Multiple attempts to talk to him by myself and others, trying to assure him that I'm out front, that he has the highest assurance he's not going to be harmed when he comes out. But normally I wouldn't even take this posture, but I got police officers in a very volatile situation. And, I've got to be where my people are. That's the bottom line. So I have to get back over there. Mayor, I don't know if you want to say something.
Well, I had the opportunity to speak to the 6 officers. They're all in good spirits, and obviously it was a very traumatic experience for them. I was talking to one of the officers who had the graze wound. to the head, and he had two little boys that looked like they were 9 or 10 years old, 8 or 9 years old, and kept on thinking about how their lives would have changed just with a little bit more difference in space. Our concern right now is for them and for their families, and we'll sort out all the other stuff once the scene has been resolved over at the shooting where the shooting took place. We're thankful. I'm a little angry about someone having all that weaponry and all that firepower, but we'll get to that another day. It's all about the officers and their families right now, and God bless them and God save them all. Thank you.
All right, guys, so keep you guys updated on Twitter. So keep following us on Twitter. We've been tweeting all day. We're going to keep doing that, okay?
Thank you.
So we've been listening in to a press conference there just outside of the Temple University Medical Center in Philadelphia. We know that that is where 3 of the injured police officers have been taken, and you can see the slew of people who have been in the background. The mayor of Philadelphia, Jim Kennedy, as well as the police commissioner for the Philadelphia Police Department there, saying he has been at the scene. He has been trying to communicate with this man inside of this home who has been shooting at police. He said that there are bullet holes or places where the SWAT truck there has been shot. There are bullet holes in the homes across the street. So that is just alarming to know that this guy is still engaging with police officers. He said they've been trying to communicate, both loudspeaker and there's a telephone there. They said the man inside has picked up the phone but not physically answered. So obviously just hanging up on police. They have no doubt that he's still alive inside the home, and the police commissioner said that is because he's still actively engaged with them. This has been going on since 3 o'clock there in Philadelphia. The police commissioner said he did meet with 4 o'clock there in Philadelphia, 3 o'clock local time here in Houston. The police commissioner said he did meet with the 3 families there at this hospital. There's also at least 3 injured officers at Einstein Hospital in Philadelphia as well. And then he talked about several officers injured in at least one crash we know on the way to the scene this afternoon. This has been going on for 4 hours now. 4 hours now. And we continue to bring you this live picture. This is outside Temple University Medical Center, and I tell you, that is just blocks, if you will, from where this shooting has happened. Here's a Google Map image of the shooting location here, North 15th Street, and then you back out just literally a notch, and Temple University Hospital, or Temple Hospital, is right there, just blocks away, thankfully, for those officers. Again, he did say, as we go back to the live picture outside the hospital, the police commissioner did say that of the people there at the hospital, of his injured officers, everyone appears to be in stable condition, which is great news. And again, if you're looking at a reporter there for CBS News who's standing by for a live shot, she'll go back to the hospital. She is blocking the shot of the scene there, but thankfully feeds coming in from both CBS News and from CBS Philadelphia as we work to continue to bring you the latest on this active situation where 4 hours into this, they are still engaged with an active shooter who has shot 6 police officers there in Philadelphia. Thankfully, again, just learning that update from the Philadelphia Police Department that none of their officers have life-threatening, or at least the officers who were wounded are all unstable. We heard that the officer who was shot in the head, it is a graze wound, which is incredibly good news there. Again, 6 police officers shot today in Philadelphia, and an active shooting situation there continues. I want to go back, and I played this earlier from courtesy of Broadcastify through our CBS affiliate in Philadelphia. I want to go back and play you this clip from them with the audio from Broadcastify, the moments that police, as they were serving this narcotics warrant there, pulled up to this home on North 15th Street, and it started to engage with this active shooter, at least one person there. We do know, again, from that press conference, they have arrested several people. The mayor said they have several people in custody. Don't know how they are involved in this, but know that they have a couple of people in custody, and there's at least one guy still inside who is actively engaged with police. But the moments that police showed up at that home around 4 o'clock local time there this afternoon to serve this warrant, listen at how chaotic it got.
As we do, as we watch this active scene, we have a recording. We're going to play the very dramatic call for help that went out earlier today. And as we do, I want to let you know that it may be a little difficult to understand what is coming over the scanner, but I'm sure you'll be able to get the gist of it all. Let's play that right now.
Car stand by, 3700 North 15th Street, shots fired at police. Shots fired at police inside the property. Inside the property. Possibly enter officers, we got a possible barricade. Cars use caution, please, and respond.
It's right there.
Stand by, car stand by, second assist, shots fired inside.
Crazy 10180, shot still ringing off. Give me SWAT ASAP. Long gun ASAP. Radio, I got an officer shot. I got an officer shot radio. Alright, so I reached SWAT. Radio, listen. Nathan 10180. I got an officer shot at this location in the leg. 121, please send additional cars immediately. Additional cars were still shots fired. I got officer shot at this location. It was like lower extremities of the further transit.
Car stand by, it's going to be a third assist. We got several shots, officers. We got an officer down. I need long gun SWAT. We have an officer shot, and they're still being shot at.
The moments there that the officers were pulling out as we go back live to the shot outside of Temple University Hospital there in Philadelphia, where we told you 3 of the 6 injured officers are being treated. Police there, the police commissioner, the mayor, Jim Kennedy of Philadelphia, just gave an update outside the hospital saying that all of the officers, thankfully, tonight have they're stable at the hospital. The mayor and the police commissioner met with the families there at this hospital. There are also officers being treated at Einstein Hospital in Philadelphia as well. So we continue to monitor this as we have for the last 4 hours out of Philadelphia, where we're waiting to get a clean live picture back from the scene. CBS News is using their camera right now. But your comments there scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Again, if you're just joining us, 6 police officers have been shot in Philadelphia in an ongoing for now 4-hour active shooting situation there on North 15th Street. That is in the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood. And I'll pull that map up really quick so you can see again where we're talking about. Let me put your comments down for just a second. This is Temple University Medical Center, where we were just looking at that live picture from. And I want to show you exactly how close it is to where this scene is. You just go over some 4 blocks. And Google Earth, or Google Maps, I should say, has located and pinpointed the shooting. To just zoom into it. A home in the block of North 15th Street, literally right here. So reporters and the public have been asked to clear out of the area down to 10 West, this street like a block below it here. I'm not gonna, it's hard to see on our little monitor. So here's where we're looking at these camera shots from this intersection here and this active shooting situation up here about a block away. Again, we're waiting on a clean picture back from the scene, but I can tell you that police are still engaged with this active shooter now 4 hours later from that original call where you just heard that 911 audio. Police there going to serve a narcotics warrant when they were engaged by this person with a gun. At least one shooter still there. They did say they arrested several people. Haven't said what those people have been charged with, or if they're facing any charges, or how they're related to this. I do know that the officer we reported earlier had been shot in the head. Thankfully, that is a graze wound. Again, the police commissioner there saying that everyone involved in this is stable at 2 different hospitals in Philadelphia, and you can see a lot of police officers there just outside of the ambulance entrance, obviously to the emergency room of the hospital there. So as you have been throughout the afternoon dipping into CBS Philadelphia's coverage, I want to go back, and they got an interview with one of the 4 women who were trapped inside of this home where officers were obviously it's a home with multiple units, if you will, inside. So they got an interview with one of the women who was trapped inside of it. I want to go back to their website, CBS Philadelphia's website, and let you hear just a piece of the soundbite they got with this person who was trapped inside.
To say, take a listen as to what they told our photojournalist Ed Spey.
I thank God for these cops. They good people. Don't say nothing bad about them. They kept us safe the whole time. The whole time. They kept us safe. By the permission of a guy. Huh? I live on the 2nd floor, and that's where all the...
You got a little bit of room here, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Come on, sweetie.
I just want to go in.
You're okay. All right.
Go ahead and have a seat, okay?
Put inside of a police car. They're going back live to the scene now, North 15th Street in Philadelphia. You can see there's a crowd of people there. Police urged these people to get off the street, to move back, to go in their homes, to go somewhere. But they weren't inside of this crime scene tape. And I see a lot of you commenting that police warned them and they just stayed. Yeah, I think there's certain situations where police can force you out of your neighborhood, but it has to be a mandatory evacuation or that kind of thing. Police don't have the authority to tell you to move from your property. Obviously, they're in the middle of the street, though, so officers are more focused on the home where this guy, they're still trying to get out of this home, and this active shooting situation is going on. Again, still engaged with this person 4 hours later after the original 911 call, or the original shots were fired, I guess I should say, after police got there to serve a narcotics warrant. They're still trying to stay on top of the latest information.
Can you stay off to the side, though, and just give me a hard 10
here in Houston.
so that we're
still trying to get an update from police. And again, you see the reporter from CBS News here stepping back in front of the camera. We can dip in. No, can't. We could dip in, but it'll take me a little minute to set it up. I'm going to go back to the shot from outside of the hospital while we work to get the latest information on what's going on here at the scene, and continue to stay with you. I'm going to take a quick break and unclear exactly how long we're going to be able to use both of these shots, but now looking on your left at Temple University Medical Center in Philadelphia, as well as on your right, there's someone standing in front of the camera, but just behind him, as soon as he moves, you'll be able to see straight down North 15th Street where this police continue to be engaged with this active shooter here in northern Philadelphia. Again, this is the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood. If you're just joining us, they got there at around 4 o'clock local time. They were serving a narcotics warrant, and it has continued on until 6 police officers have been shot, now being treated at 2 different hospitals in Philadelphia. We've learned from the police commissioner saying that he and the mayor have met with at least 3 of those families. The commissioner also said that several other officers had been injured, at least one of them in a car crash, either on or at the scene, on the way or at the scene there this afternoon. Again, we're still working in the newsroom here to continue to follow the latest information on this story. It is on KHOU.com. We're also streaming, if you're here on Facebook, the latest on the weather, the radar, and a live picture outside the station here. Also here just below this feed or above this feed on Facebook as well.
Oh shit, I just went worldwide. Okay, I had to call my mom.
CBSN does want an 8:30 hit. Okay. That's 7 minutes.
I put that shit on my Instagram too.
Yeah, I'm trying to show y'all. See that shit? Huh? I'm just trying to give you. I'm trying to give you a view. If you can't.
Yo, would you buy your kids this? Like if you forgot their lunch? Like if I'm out here selling niggas $2. If I got lunches, what? Oh, you ain't going in the hood then. How you ain't eating no roast beef? Like what? Turkey head? Bologna? Especially the bologna and cheese though. She ate that bologna. Oh, yeah. Yeah, with no sugar. I need to get ghosts.
gonna be in the alleyway, like 3, 4, 500 blocks away. They still think I'm a Yo, you gassy, guys. I know, I was trying to get a cheesesteak too. Yo, that thing rolling. That thing rolling. You still on the phone?
You're like, bro, what's your wife doing? I'll play with the line.
Stop it. They shoes be all in. Every time though. Every time they get shot though, his shoes is always up.
Before I need
I'm about to I mean, these joints are right there. Bro, them joints tight. Bro, you ain't got nut room or nothing. Bro, I know your joints in there screaming. Like when you squat, though, like them joints.
You got down them?
Yeah, you got to. You got to down everybody in there and then down yourself.
No. I'm gonna take you first. I'm a weed. Then I'm going to weed.
No, you know they gonna get away with it. They gonna get away with the murder, period. Regardless. If they kill us, they kill us.
What's going on?
Potential hostage situation.
Hey everybody, Brett Buffington continuing to stay with you here in the KHOU 11 newsroom in Houston, no matter where you're following us. On all of our digital platforms, we've been streaming this for 4.5 hours now almost. And this situation in Philadelphia, North Philadelphia on North 15th Street, if you're familiar with the city, it continues tonight. You're looking live here on the other box where SWAT officers from the Philadelphia Police Department continue to try and negotiate with this man who is inside, who has been shooting at them for the last several hours. I want to go and take that shot back full and see if our affiliate there is talking. We've been dipping into their coverage.
Situation. At least one gunman is inside, according to the police commissioner, and sources tell CBS News that at least 2 officers are inside.
That is the background there. I came here to tell you now that sources are telling CBS News that 2 people possibly 2 police officers might be inside of this house with this active shooter. Did hint at that at a press conference earlier with the police commissioner. He's certainly very worried about his officers who are inside of this home, and they can't go in and get those officers because obviously there is still a person actively shooting at the police. There are 2, I can tell you, just outside of this home, what you're looking at there, there are 2 tactical vehicles. It does look like one of them might have left the scene there, but you can see that row of people standing there. Police have actually cautioned those people, asked them to leave their neighborhood. They were standing up closer to homes earlier, and this guy who's popping up beside me, he's actually a reporter for the CBS affiliate there. We've been his coverage today has been absolutely astounding. He's just been blocks from this home while this person inside has been engaged with the Philadelphia Police Department. An active shooting situation there. The person was shooting at police as that reporter was, again, just feet, if you will, from where this was happening. We've been following this since it started. 4 o'clock local time here in Houston, 3 o'clock local time here in Houston, 4 o'clock in Philadelphia, and we have learned some new information. The 6 police officers shot. All of them are in stable condition. We did report earlier that one of the officers was shot in the head. Thankfully, we've learned from police there in Philadelphia that is a graze wound. Again, they were serving a narcotics warrant here this afternoon. We played that audio earlier from the CBS affiliate there in Philadelphia of police showing up at this home. It is incredible. It sounded like they were engaged in gunfire with this person, at least one person inside of the home, as soon as they got to the front door. They did say that police told us they've arrested several people. They did not tell us how they were connected to this, or they were part of that warrant, or what they might be charged with. We're going to go back to the scene there in Philadelphia, dip into the coverage with the reporter who's there on the ground.
Lightning shots, so we actually have to toss it back for our safety with all of this electronic equipment and turn it off for at least the next few minutes as this storm passes through. That is the latest live here in North Philadelphia. Yuki, Natasha, back to you.
And obviously now, in the middle of all this chaotic situation, they are going to be dealing with some bad weather moving through. So we might lose our live shots here from the scene in Philadelphia. If that does happen, we'll continue to update this, of course, on KHOU.com.
I mean, I think, how long do you guys tape? Because you're not taping until 1 o'clock in the morning, are you?
Philadelphia. They're saying now that they're dealing with weather, lightning in the area. And
yeah,
so
and I don't think there's any end in sight, and it's about to pour.
Surrounding this home.
It's about to pour.
The ones that are there closest.
Of course, we'll let you know if something happens, but I think there are other ways potentially to update this, which would be hopefully a news conference with the commissioner and Tanya doing a generic breaking news. They've caught him. Here's what the commissioner has to say. Instead of us possibly being out here in the pouring rain, just to kind of wrap. And he's going to give, you know what I'm saying? Generally, that's kind of how this is going to unfold. But it could also be, and it also could be hours.
They were told
this could be 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're still out here trying to figure out what's going on.
Is stable at the hospital, being treated at 2 different hospitals there, Temple University Medical Center and Einstein Hospital in Philadelphia. Again, this is North 15th Street you're looking at.
Okay.
You can barely make out the scene there in the background now, past these people who are standing in the street, the red lights in the distance. That is the back of the armored vehicle there. And police, in their latest update, they are still engaged with this active shooter at this home, a man inside, and is still shooting at the police officers. And it appears we've lost our shot there out of Philadelphia. They are dealing with storms just like we're dealing with in Houston. They're moving through their area earlier, looking over here to the side to see if either of those shots come back up. But I want to show you again, if you weren't familiar with an area, this is North 15th Street in Philadelphia, the Nicetown, Tioga neighborhood. And this shooting, according to Google Maps, is happening, active shooting situation is happening here just in this section of North Philadelphia. Again, they were worried about weather there. We know the reporter there was having to get his cameraman, his photographer, and the equipment out of the rain that was moving through. And it appears we've also lost our shot from CBS News. So continuing to follow this here in the newsroom. The we've getting their signal there that their power, their secondary unit they were using has power down. Continuing to follow this here in the KHOU 11 News newsroom. Of course, we will stay on the latest, but with no feeds coming out of Philadelphia. We're going to turn off the digital stream here, and once one comes back up, if there's an update in this situation that continues to unfold, they're now going into almost its 5th hour. They still have an active shooter inside a home there. They are still working to get that person out. Police told us that they have tried over loudspeaker. They've tried over the phone. The person will pick up the phone but won't answer it, is the way the police commissioner there worded it. Again, 5 hours of coverage here on our digital platforms. We're continuing this on KHOU.com with the very latest information there, as we certainly have our thoughts and our prayers here in Houston and across Texas and the country tonight with the people of the Philadelphia Police Department. 6 police officers there shot this afternoon, and several others injured in different incidences. We know one, at least in Iraq, headed to that scene. Again, the latest on this story, as always, will be on KHOU.com.